Melbourne Mavericks side of things, but it's going to be bunker from
here we go.
Warriors. The benefit of having a Winston here as well means that obviously it's pretty easy to contest the point when necessary for a Winston. He can be quite safe.
Now, the Warriors are choosing to play the bunker in a different position to what we saw a bunker used on this map.
They might be expecting the Farah here from QVN.
Well,
so that's a much safer position from the Farah than just on the sort of left corner.
And that's what we saw yesterday as well. The first one down will be Joker. And I love seeing the Batiste in play, to be perfectly honest. That right-click heal.
I want to see left-click Batiste.
Yeah, 3-round burst.
Yep.
So many heals coming out. Roro feeling nice and safe, and yes, QVN being forced around the left-hand side of the building to try and take aim. It is definitely not as safe a position as the alternative should Roro have been a little bit further to his right, like we sometimes see, like we saw the turret yesterday being placed. Obviously, it's not as big a deal. All right, Huss gone for the hack onto QVN. He will. Can he get the damage down? To be fair,
look, I gotta say that's a pretty impressive amount of damage.
Oh, there we go.
Through the mercy heals as well.
Yeah, it was. All right, Jungle goes down to Mercedes, who has managed to find himself the Dragon Strike, and it does, of course, force Roro off the top. But they don't seem to be able to get through with any sort of follow-up, and Roro probably going to be able to get back onto the same area as before. Let's see what Huss can do. EMP ready, throws it out, hits 3, including QVN. But Modern's now gone down to Crimson Wolf, one of the players who was not hit by that EMP.
Well, Melbourne Mavericks are getting the kills, but they're not really establishing themselves on this point, are they?
No. The bunker composition going to be continuing its use a little bit further back. There we go. That's the EMP they need. Somehow Roro finds QVN.
Just snipes him out of the sky.
Just in what I would call traditional Bastion mode. This is not going well at all.
That was really nicely done from Jungle. He completely avoided the EMP, gets his ultimate down to buff the damage of Noz and Roro and the Immortality field, so the EMP doesn't really mean that those two players are going to be under too much pressure because they're safe in the Immortality field. So all of a sudden, even despite a situation looking decent for Melbourne Mavericks, you know, they're getting a lot of kills there, just not getting ticks on this point, Ben.
No, they're not. Not one single tick as yet. Mercedes has swapped across. The sniper is gone. We'll see if the other Japanese brother can have some success. Not this time around. Davey and Joker both go down. Crimson Wolf on the point, but will get cleaned up. The DMEC coming through. Followed up with See You Later, Baby Diva. And Mercedes has the potential to get staggered here. Forced all the way back. Finds a mini health pack. Has to wait now for the rest of the team to come back. If he gets that far.
He's going to be able to get too far here. Huss wants... Oh, that's probably not what he wanted to hack, I'm going to be honest.
No, it's not. But they know where Mercedes is now.
Hello.
Oh, whoop. You just hear...
Trouble.
Yeah. Huss needs to be careful. Almost getting baited. Nice sleep comes through as configuration change does not have the impact that it needed. But Modern comes through with the goods, Jordan. The mines are dropped. Crimson Wolf loses the mech. And even though Huss has gone down, I don't think it's going to matter here. They get 2/3 of the way through, 69.7%. He's at the end of the story. Oh my goodness! Roro!
Not with the Dragon Blade.
Wow.
And not Mercedes either. Hey, I was right.
You did put this one, I'll give you this. You put it on the table. You said, hey, just putting it out there. The Warriors might full hold on A.
Yeah, and so they did.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it wasn't a full hold. It's 9.7%.
Yeah, I think it's... Okay.
My point was that the cap wasn't going to come out.
That's probably what you actually meant.
Yeah.
And I just used the wrong words. So, this could be a very quick map.
Yes. Catch us up a little bit after all the pauses.
Yeah. Got a bit of time to make up. That's for sure. Need to go home.
Can I just say, I don't think
Back into my games.
a Darwin International Terminal has particularly good public transport and infrastructure
Options.
out
Well, there's
the
all
front.
these buses. One thing I want to know, right? They have all these
Also,
like
where's the
check-in
runway?
kiosks. All these check-in kiosks, right? Surely people are checking in on their personal devices at this time in the future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This actually looks like the worst airport you've ever seen.
I don't know. Maybe they don't get very many people through.
I guess not. There are a lot of flights on that board, though.
There are.
There's Arissa.
Broken board. No, it is quite a lot of flights, actually. But look, transport should be easy now, right? You probably don't have to queue up for 3 hours to get to your plane.
That's a good point.
Probably just jump on the shuttle and then they're just easy, like getting on a bus.
Only
That's
life
the
was so
future
easy.
I want to live in. Don't have to get to the airport 3 hours early. That would be the dream. One day, Jordan. One day.
I know there's an Ash on the field.
Well, I'm ready for this, actually. This is the most excited Mercedes has got me all day, to be honest, because this is the play. I love Ash. Certainly more than the Reaper from earlier. So let's see what these plays look like.
Have to be some pretty good ones. We've seen
will.
a change up as well, the adaptation from Warriors after being aware of what Melbourne Mavericks are running. We go into Genji, Sombra. Similar to what they ran on Temple of Anubis when faced with
Nice.
something.
Very nice. That's what Mercedes needed. And the Mavericks will follow up likewise. It's like 2 or 3 picks going across to the Ash here. So certainly making the most of it. 2/3 of the way through to a Bob as well. Look,
Yep.
you can take your personal little monorail thing. Maybe that's what everyone uses.
Good, quick, solid time on the Bob charge.
Very impressive.
One of the things I like about Ash is you charge your ultimate quite quickly.
The Warriors going to change it up now. Not what we saw before. Roro across to the Farah. Modern
Where is Modern going?
on the wrecking ball. Just scoping it out. Just gets through. Just wants to take out this. Easy. No, not that easy. There we go. Got him. Oops.
Get this health back as well.
Yep.
So QVN's dead.
Like playing marbles, Jordan.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
All right, what could
Bob was.
Mercedes
It was
do the
QVN.
second time around? Was successful to begin with. Needs to follow it up with more. Crimson Wolf has been demected by Tongue. But the Bob will come out. See how effective that is as well. Because that pops the ulti. Eventually it subsides. And it's going to be the Warriors who are starting to come up with ultimates of their own in just a moment as well. Roro goes down to Mercedes, who is probably the best Mercedes has played all day.
Imagine walking around a corner and just getting hit by a Hanzo arrow in the face.
Yeah.
That was Davey just there.
Or any arrow in the face, let's be real. Barrage comes through and has the expected result. Roro dies.
Normally we see better barrages out from Roro than that one, although it just doesn't seem like it's going to make too much of a difference here.
No.
The rest of Melbourne Mavericks are finding the kills. Tongue has got 2.
They've got no shield to work with though, so that definitely makes life just that little bit tougher, but it doesn't seem to matter. Looking for 2/3 or just beyond, and that'll get them through here. Dragon Strike just to keep them back. It is successful. Numbani goes to the Warriors, as does today's match, now 3-0. Of course, we'll go and play Havana in just a moment, looking to make it 4-0. If they can, they're going to have broken the
first
curse.
4-0.
Yeah, for the Warriors.
I was going to say, if they're going to be able to get a 4-0 against anyone, it's going to be Melbourne Mavericks.
Yeah.
A little disappointing that they weren't able to against Legacy. I think that was definitely achievable, but
Yes.
I mean, the result against Order from Legacy also does lend some credence toward Legacy's side of the discussion there. But anyway, Warriors are doing a pretty good job regardless of the maps that they're able to win, as long as they're winning series. From this point out, you know, you so far haven't dropped a series, and they're the only team that actually is undefeated. So that's obviously a nice little bit of a cushion to sit on.
It is. It is a nice sitting up there on top of the leaderboard. And
Yep.
you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure how much time they actually spent at the top of the leaderboard last season. They were there sometimes,
Yeah.
but they always felt like maybe the map differential wasn't on their side.
Yeah, it was a bit sort of backwards and forwards. The top 3 was a real sort of jostle for positions.
Yeah, it was. It was indeed. But this season certainly seems to be going better for the Warriors, and it's a good start. It's what you want. You really couldn't ask for much more. Yes, you could say, Wish we'd 4-0'd Legacy or
Yeah.
whatever. I wish we had a couple more maps on our side of things. But let's be real, you take your 3 wins.
You would definitely. You're not complaining about this one at all
Yeah.
as Warriors. But there's still a lot to think about in the future for this Warriors roster as well. I mean, they have yet to face the likes of Athletico, Ground Zero. I don't know if I even want to put Sydney Drop Bears kind of in that discussion after what we saw today. But yeah, they haven't faced Sydney Drop Bears yet either. There's definitely still a few decent teams that Warriors kind of have to go up against. But I feel like the majority of the hard work is out of the way, with the exception being probably Order, pending a return to form from Order.
Yeah. Well, I'm interested to see how they return to form, if they return to form, or if they're going to sit in this weird position where all of a sudden, I feel like would it be the first time where the reigning champ isn't... It's one thing to come second, right, in the finals.
No, actually, it might be. You're right. I think probably the only time, if in this world Order doesn't take first seed from the regular season, I think that would be the first time in AU Contenders that the reigning champion did not be the first seed in the next season of AU Contenders, which is kind of funny as well, because obviously it was Sydney Drop Bears last time. They did end up losing to Order.
They did indeed.
In the finals, even despite being first seed in the regular season.
Yeah, but that's one thing, right? To make it all the way through and lose at the end, it's another to see whether they actually failed to make it to the top level in the top 2, potentially. We'll have to wait and see.
They may not make top 2 from where they are, but they're still down. Like, they're 2-1. They're not in an awful position. I think it's just the way that the games have kind of played out that's sort of giving us this a little bit of a tendency to think, okay...
It's not the results themselves necessarily, it's the way the results came about, perhaps,
They're still not in an awful position at 2-1, but the way that they're playing is not up to scratch. Certainly not for Order.
No, it's not.
But there's plenty more seasons, plenty more matches this season as well, of course, that Order can come back into the swing of things. And if they get the win over Warriors, and I guess they got to hope that Athletico loses to someone somewhere on down the track as well, which they already have to Ground Zero, then there is actually still a way that Order takes first seed.
They'd have to have a pretty good comeback. Well, I guess, to be fair, the Warriors would just have to lose one. So we'll see how that plays out, of course. But 3 from 3, pretty good start to the season as we head now to Havana. Last time we will see it for a little while, I suspect. I've enjoyed the Havana matches, though, this week. I like it. I like it as a map. I think it's good.
I think it's definitely time for Warriors to turn that curse around. They've really struggled to get the last map, which is so surprising. I don't know if it's like they sort of just take their foot off the pedal. Like, is it a case for Warriors where they think, okay, well, job done, series over.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter if we lose this last map. And to an extent, that is true if you win every match.
You don't want to lose $10,000 because of one map.
No.
And it wouldn't be the first time, it would be the second time that it has occurred.
Not
if that were
Warriors,
the case. Of course not for the Warriors, but still, we saw how important it was. And you can't afford... Firstly, you want your 10K, right?
Yeah.
Plus you want the top seed.
Huss knows all about it. He was on the receiving end of the 10K.
Yep. Plus, you want the easiest side of the bracket, theoretically, when it comes to playoffs. That's what we're looking at now. And I don't think it's unreasonable to suggest that this Warriors team will be in playoffs at this point. Almost guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say 3 weeks in that anything is guaranteed, but it's
guaranteed.
It's about as close to it as it could be. Warriors will start on the attack this time, so Melbourne Mavericks not too keen on replaying what they had on Barney, and that they weren't really able to get too much done on attack and didn't really have anything to defend.
All right, look at this. We're going to do bunker comp in the hotel, sitting up on the high ground. Great little view straight down the line. What are the Warriors going to come out with? They're going to be allowed to get onto the payload. Be able to set up, one would suggest.
Able to just hide someone behind that payload for the whole walk up. Even if it's Tongue. It's like, literally, why have you put Tongue behind the payload?
It's like the biggest
fattest guy.
Just put literally anyone else.
Could have put Roro.
There we go.
No, let's put Diva, the other fat character.
The other one that can't even crouch, mate. Anyway.
It doesn't matter, though.
Oh, we'll get the Hulk comes through, actually. That wasn't bad at all.
I mean, I guess that's why you put the Diva behind payload, is if someone gets halted into a hook or into a headshot, it might as well be Diva who can get back in the mech. Well, you don't lose a player, and well, there's a nice pick. Roro connects onto the head of Davey.
will get resurrected by Kazet. Need to find a bit of better positioning, perhaps here for the Mavs, but they can pick up Huss, which they will. What are you even doing, mate? 1v1ing. This is the sort of stuff we're talking about, by the way. I feel like that when you get to this point, you know what I mean?
Huss is literally playing Dive Widow.
Yes, this is it. This is the stuff we were talking about, where maybe it feels like the foot comes off the pedal just a little bit for the fourth map. All right, this is going to be successful, surely. Look at that. Forces them all out. Everyone jumps out of dodge. You can hear QBN using his ultimate configuration. Tank will come out looking to do a bit of damage. All he does is just not die. Storm Arrows comes through. QBN goes down to Tang. From here, it might just be a matter of time. Supercharger used now by Joker as well. The bongos go down. Crimson Wolf should be able to come back in as well with the whole hog, should they want. Do you use it? Here is the question. No.
Do enjoy watching the Widowmaker.
Huss is on fire.
He is. Dive Widowmaker, best Widowmaker. That's what I reckon.
Well, it makes perfect sense if you think about it. You've got the maneuverability.
You've got the mobility to get in.
Yep.
You've got an SMG. I don't
You've
understand.
Got it. It's easy.
Why
literally just like playing Sombra, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe just not quite as good. So time for Warriors to set themselves back up here in Phase B.
Changes have, of course, come out. QBN now going to play the Hanzo. Self-destruct from Noz, not a bad position. Only manages to get rid of the invulnerability shield.
Well, that shield is not going to last long for Modern.
No.
Against the damage amplification that comes from Davies' ultimate.
Does indeed. Whole hog comes out from Tang. Supercharger's gone down as well. That makes it even stronger, of course. The payload maybe will start moving shortly. Crimson Wolf uses his ultimate as well. Everything's gone into this one, and the Dragon Strike comes out once more. No one's going to go down to that one. 6 alive for both teams. Eventually, Joker is picked up. Infrasight available and now used by Huss.
Both teams actually use the Infrasight.
This. Everyone knows where everyone is, Jordan.
What are you going to do? Roro on one side, Huss on the other. See you later, Mercedes.
It's a bit unfortunate.
For the BMW anyway.
Wow. Not allowed to say that. Anyway, Davey does find Huss. It takes the support player. Oh, wow. Roro. That was filthy, mate.
That is actually disgusting.
Absolutely filthy. Roro finds himself another Dragon Strike. This one ready to go. Oh, into the water goes Mercedes.
I suppose what other option do you really have there?
What do you keep playing this Widow now? We saw Widows used on the third phase here of Havana earlier. I don't know. Alright. Alright. Look at this. We're going to have 5 ultimates available for the Warriors in just a second as well. And Roro's going to be able to push everyone out of the way with this Dragon Strike also. Supercharger comes through, Dragon Strike comes out into the middle. Noz with the self-destruct, but goes down as soon as he's out of the mech, he's into the grave essentially. And Roro, what are you?
Bro, what are you doing?
Doesn't even make sense. It's not even the play that's going to work, but it works. He's there, hits the headshot. It's a great headshot. Crimson Wolf throws out the whole hog. Davey has the Transcendence inside, and the payloads are most of the way there. But the Warriors, as you can see, lost a player and run out of ultimates as well. So, do they keep running this comp? Do they make a change? What are we going to see?
I don't see a reason to change really for Warriors at this point. It is of course slow going, but that they're still going. Mercedes is trying his best. Huss with the pre-fire. Doesn't quite connect. As you can see, the payload is still moving forward. The angles that Melbourne Mavericks can play from are getting slimmer and slimmer.
2.5 minutes on the clock. So much time as the Dragon Strike comes through. So many ticks! Davey and QBN both unable to get out of the way. Mercedes once again going to get found out by Roro. Cassette is just really buying a little bit of time, but not very much, and the payload moves forward. QVN going to jump, or not even make it to the payload. I don't think anyone else can get there, to be honest. And there we go. Probably still 2 minutes in the bank after that. Looks like maybe the 3-map curse could be undone today, Jordan.
Yeah, I have to suspect that it will be. That actually might be one of the fastest times we've seen on Havana this season. Let me have a look back.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, order. Cap out. Legacy did, but that was in overtime from memory. Ground Zero capped with 42 seconds left. The Warriors have capped with 2 minutes and 6 left. So, I'm not so sure that this is going to be achievable for Melbourne Mavericks. But one last ditch attempt. Otherwise, they're 0-12 this season. I mean, I'm starting to get the feeling that we may have the second iteration of Bin Chickens, Spen, in that a winless season may be on the cards for Melbourne Mavericks. They just aren't being able to get anything done.
It's definitely not the season that they were hoping for, that's for sure. The roster changes, for whatever reasons they may be, I think have probably not helped. And look, it is what it is at this point. They'd just be looking right here for a consolation map and their first map win of the season. But for the rest of the season, looking forward, they can, to be fair, could still make it through to playoffs if they were to win
every game from here.
Every match. They played
well,
round zero.
They could make it all the way to playoffs.
Atletico.
If they
now
only,
the Warriors.
They only need to win 2 games to get into playoffs, Ben.
Yeah.
It's not like they have to win every game from here.
Yeah. So play Legacy, have a better run first then potentially.
Yep.
And they just need to find themselves one more. It's definitely not going to help with Davey going down very quickly here to Roro. So you can see once more this this bunker comp, or perhaps an opportunity for the pirate ship to come alive, is it? I think of it more of a tank, to be honest.
I can't believe the aim duels that Ast is taking right now on his Widow. Look at him. He's literally spawn camping. Does die to Mercedes. I guess you reap what you sow.
Mercedes finds jungle as well, so those are 2 pretty big picks, and as a result, it's going to at least allow these guys out of spawn. Mercedes finds Roro. Everyone overextending potentially here for the Warriors, and the Mavs making the most of it, which of course they need to do.
Mercedes. Oh, that was Noz, sorry. What was he doing? Oh, almost landed like a Hate Me Like a French Girl meme up on the railing then. That would have been quite funny. But anyway, here goes Melbourne Mavericks. A slow march towards victory, perhaps. We're on Havana.
Roro has the Dragon Strike available, looking to line it up. Impresight comes out as well. It's like, I'm just going to throw this straight down the middle of the payload, straight into the Roadhog, but it only finds, well, no one. It's Davey who goes down to Modern in the end. The Warriors at least find their pick, Jordan. Find a couple of pick. Huss eventually does get the better of Mercedes once more.
Huss is just on fire. He's got 2.
Is he on fire? On fire?
Probably.
That's the real question.
I would be surprised if the majority of Warriors wasn't on fire after that.
Can you actually say someone's on fire if they're not on fire? You know what I mean?
Probably. See, he is.
He is on fire.
Don't even worry about it.
All right, easy life. 1:53 on the clock already. Half the time gone for the Mavs. And they need to find something. Would love to see them get through this first phase of the map and make something of Havana. Though it most certainly has not been their day. Self-destruct from Noz will find Joker as well. And, well, the Mavs going to throw a couple of ultis in, and Jungle does go down. Can they get anything more out of that? Not. With Crimson Wolf getting hooked up by his counterpart. Tung finding that pick. The Dragon Strike available for Roro once more, Jordan. It's been a pretty tough day here for the Mavs.
He's too good. He's an absolute madman. Do not believe the shots that Roro is hitting right now are pretty damn solid.
Eventually, QVN does go down. Huss went down also, but Jungle Jazz there to save the day.
59 seconds, Ben. Not a lot of time for Melbourne Mavericks to work with. The
Dragon Strike straight through the middle. Supercharge from Joker. Joker goes down, however. Davey's going to have one of his own in just a moment, waiting to see this one come out. But he goes down to Roro nonetheless. The res comes through. Can they find the picks? That's the real question. Roro with the Storm Arrows onto the main tank, not going to find a pick. And now he's kind of stuck in this room, needs to get out. Does get out. The payload moves through, 30 seconds on the clock. There's the Dragon Strike coming out from the Mavericks, but everyone just falls back. But just as he gets out, Crimson Wolf pulls Roro back in.
Well, does it get in any easier situation for Melbourne Mavericks off the back of that pick? I'm not so sure that it does. I'm not really sold just yet. Tongue and Nose have traded back. Self-destruct is going to be thrown in from Melbourne Mavericks, but that won't really eventuate into a whole lot. And Ben, that's going to be that.
Yep. GG. Put them out in the chat, guys and girls, because the Warriors just 4-0 the Melbourne Mavericks, and it's going to lock themselves in at the top of the leaderboard after the end of the week. And if Mass is correct, they should be on 10 map wins, which is a lot of maps to have at this time of the season.
Yeah, first 4-0 of the season for Warriors, so it's definitely a good feeling. Shake any of that curse discussion off their back. I mean, look, again, going on to Havana, things seem to just go a little bit crazy, even if the series itself wasn't crazy to begin with. Regardless, a good game from Warriors. I don't feel as though they were particularly tested in this one, though, so
No,
I mean, it's not really going to kind of classify as a particularly great win for Warriors or anything like that. We still definitely need to see how they go further on into the season against the likes of Order, Sydney Drop Bears, Ground Zero. I would say the only really strong win that they've actually had this season was against Mindfreak. Again, Legacy, they weren't really able to contest Warriors at all, and Mindfreak is Mindfreak at this point. So, for me,
Yeah,
you know, while Warriors are looking good,
they've had an easy start.
They've had a pretty easy start. Yeah.
Let's be real.
So let's just slow things down a little bit.
Probably one of the easiest starts you can have. So I guess the question, right, depending on how the rest of the season goes, maybe it's like, oh, you know, the Warriors probably shouldn't have dropped a map to Legacy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe that's the map that costs them later. But
Or
for that
lost
to be
2
the
maps to Legacy.
case, someone else needs to step up though at this point. And obviously, some of the teams have had a more difficult start to the season. Order have lost themselves once, have lost 1 match, but definitely potential for them to come back if they find some easier games, get back into the swing of the season. And I don't know, they just got to find themselves. I don't know what you have to do. How do you find yourself? What do you do?
You need to go on a holiday, a retreat.
A retreat? Yeah, maybe.
No time for that. We've got more games to play next week.
Yeah, it can't go far, and you really got to keep practicing.
I just got to get in that server, start scrimming up pretty hard.
Yeah.
A lot of work to be done for a lot of teams, actually.
It is. It is weird because whilst overall everyone's improved, there are a lot of questions about certain teams this season that maybe I didn't have last season.
Yeah, definitely. This season is way closer than last season, and maybe not for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Because it seems like everything's kind of condensed in towards the middle of the pack, even a little bit more so than towards the top of the pack.
Yeah. This is where we want to be, to be fair, I think. I think it's still better to have a lot of teams sort of fighting for these spots instead of maybe having a fight at the top of the ladder and a fight at the bottom of the ladder. It's a really more condensed towards the middle, and it leads to potentially a more exciting season. Talking about excitement, it's time for our Macca's Play of the Game. The McDonalds Australia Play of the Game. It was the Melbourne Mavericks up against the Warriors, and this is going to be Arna. You talked about how much you love to see these big Arna plays, Jordan. A sleep dart, and that'll lock them down.
Had
Good
to
work,
be
Tom.
it. It had to be it, didn't it? Look, you got to know how hard it is to get a player game on Arna in any game.
So
of Overwatch.
let's watch this, right? It's the...
It's two separate.
It's two separate
sleep darts, but
the first one, the Sombra, you only half see the Sombra,
Yeah.
right? You don't even see Sombra the whole time.
that's just an instinct flicked.
Yeah.
It's like, if I don't hit this sleep dart, I probably die. Let's give it a crack.
Yep. What's the worst that happens?
It's like if you're playing cricket, you just throw your arm out. You know,
Boom.
you just somehow you just catch
Boom.
that ball
Like that. I did that once in a game.
and you dropped it.
It was going to hit the umpire in the head, and I caught it. I was bowling, and I caught it in front of his head like there.
That should be worth 2 wickets.
I should have said thank you. Didn't say anything except other than out. I was happy with that, but
Yeah.